In this video, I'm going to show you how to control an HVAC system using the Kosher Switch. This house has one thermostat which controls the heating, the cooling. It has a heating and a cooling and an off mode, where during the week we could control it on demand, but we want to accomplish the same thing on Shabbos using the Kosher Switch. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Looking at the thermostat itself, you'll see it has several modes. Right now it's on cool. It could be switched to off. It could be switched to heat. Because it's summertime, we want it switched to cool. But I want to be able to control this on Shabbos. So how are we going to do that? We're going to use the Kosher Switch. Over here I have a setup. I have a Kosher Switch mounted in a box next to an outlet. On the top outlet I have a transformer plugged in, and in the bottom I have the X10 power flash interface plugged in. Now, as you could see, the input of the power flash is set to input A as opposed to B. When it's on A, it responds to low voltage. When it's on B, it responds to a dry contact. And since I'm using a transformer and not a relay, I have it set to input mode A. Now what happens is this electrical outlet is split. I've removed the bar between the top and the bottom outlet, so the Kosher Switch is switching the top outlet only, which is switching the transformer, and it is sending a signal to the bottom, to the module, which is plugged into the bottom outlet, which has continuous contact, which in turn is sending a wireless signal through the wiring of the house. And what will respond will be, if you look up on the wall, you will see this powerhouse universal module. Although it's plugged into the same outlet in the wall, it doesn't have to be. It could be plugged into any outlet in the house. Now what I've done over here is I've taken a standard 9-volt battery that you'll see in your smoke detector, a voltmeter, and I hooked it up in series with terminals on this universal module. So what I'm going to do over here now is I'm going to take the Kosher Switch, make sure the light's green, because we don't want to be Mechala Shabbos. Well, it just turned red, so I'm going to have to wait for it to turn green. Here, it turned green, so I'm going to flip it. Now, those who use the Kosher Switch for lighting already know that it typically takes from a few minutes to work. Oh, there, it actually worked. It went on, and the voltmeter is now on. You could see you could read the 9 voltage of the battery. Unfortunately, I was blocking it, so you did not actually see the needle move. But I'm not going to bother reshooting this. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm taking this, waiting for the light to turn green, flipping it off, and again, it could take anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. And when it does, you will see the needle go down. There, it just went, you heard the click, and the voltmeter went down. What's happening over here is the Kosher Switch is in effect controlling the dry contacts over here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to wire this in series with the furnace unit that controls the heating and the cooling of this house. Getting back to the thermostat, this is what it looks like when you pull the thermostat off the wall. You could see there's a red wire, a white wire, and 2 green wires. The red wire is hooked up to the 24-volt transformer, so if it is removed or disconnected, nothing will work, neither the heating or the air conditioning. So what we need to do is hook the Kosher Switch in series with a red wire. Over here is a wiring diagram which just verifies what I said, and it indicates that the red wire is for the 24-volt power transformer. In this case, it's a common wire used for both heating and air conditioning. I am now in the attic. This is the carrier unit, which controls both the heating and the air conditioning. Look at it again. I have removed the front cover. I have now removed the panel exposing the wiring, and the unit automatically shuts off because when you remove the cover, it lets go of this safety switch, which does not allow the unit to run when the cover is off the panel. Now over here you could see a series of wires, and on the bottom you could see a red wire. This red wire is the 24-volt wire that hooks up to the thermostat, which controls both the heating and the air conditioning. If that wire is removed, neither the heating or the air conditioning can work. So what we have to do is we have to control that wire in order to control the heating or the air conditioning on Shabbos. And next I'm going to show you how we did that. Now if you look over here, what I've done is I've removed the red wire for the transformer, and I ran a new wire over here, a 2-conductor bell wire. One terminal goes to the screw where the red wire previously went, and the red wire is spliced to the other terminal on this bell wire over here. Now what I've done is I've run the bell wire out of the unit from the side. It goes up this wood, around, back down, and you could see the other end is now hooked up to the X10 universal module, to the same terminals I have the battery and voltmeter hooked up to just a few moments ago. Now over here I have restored the cover and the panel. Now the air conditioning has been left on the thermostat, but as you could see, nothing is on. That is because this module here is switched to off. And over here I have the Kosher Switch that's plugged into the power flash interface. For the purpose of this demonstration, I have brought it up to this attic here, but in actuality, I'm going to be leaving this in a convenient location in the house. So when I return home from shul, for example, Shabbos morning at 11 a.m., and it's hot, we of course have to make sure it's on Shabbos mode, and make sure the light's green, and we flip it while the light's green, and wait and see what happens. It could take a few seconds or a few minutes before anything happens. So all we could do now is wait. And yes, it has started up, yes. conclusion, I'm looking forward to the day when the inventor of the Kosher Switch teams up with the thermostat manufacturer and incorporates the technology right into a thermostat, which would thus render this video obsolete. But until that happens, and for the time being, only the original Kosher Switch is available. This is the method that I used, which works, so I could control my central air conditioning with the Kosher Switch, and I could continue to control my heat the same way in the winter months and a few months from now. Wishing everyone a cool summer, a warm winter, and thank you for viewing.